Hello friends, my name is Palomore, and I have a lot of new supporters on the channel, but this is still my biggest fan. In today's video, we are going to be covering how to do AoE as a sub-rogue, specifically in Mythic Plus. This has been highly requested, so let's jump right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so as I stated in the intro, this video has been really highly requested, so I really hope I can help a lot of you out. This video might look a little bit different if you're familiar with my channel. The difference this video, instead of kind of having a live commentary, I'm going to have live cam, but I will leave some background footage of some Mythic Plus content for you guys to watch. Hopefully by doing this, you guys can kind of watch that, get a general idea for the flow of the playstyle as I kind of go over some core points when it comes to doing AoE DPS. Okay, so the first principle I kind of want to address is that sub-rogues have 3 core combo point generators, and those are Shadow Strike, Backstab, and Shuriken Storm. You know, we have other ones like Shuriken Toss and stuff like that, other minuscule things that build points, but these are the 3 core. And the reason I want to address this is because that priority is going to switch based off of how many NPCs you're fighting against, and it's going to help you understand AoE a lot better. So in a general sense, you're always going to put Shadow Strike over Backstab. Obviously, they're both single target abilities, and Shadow Strike hits much harder. So it really comes down to when should you use Shuriken Storm relative to the others. When it comes to single target, Shadow Strike's always going to be number 1. When it comes to 2 targets, Shadow Strike is still number 1, but you're no longer going to backstab anything. You're going to always Shuriken Storm 2 targets instead of backstabbing. As soon as you're in 3 targets, you are now going to start prioritizing Shuriken Storm as your main combo point builder, and you're going to put that over top of Shadow Strike, not because it does more damage, but because the damage is very similar and you'll be building way more combo points faster. Now, something I feel like a lot of sub-rogues get really confused about is dealing with their finishers in AoE situations. You know, it's very easy to think there's 10 mobs here, I have Backstab and Shuriken Storm. Obviously, Shuriken Storm is the big AoE ability. That's going to be the best choice. And rogues might be wondering, well, should I put Rupture on every target? Should I Eviscerate every target? The answer is actually really simple, and if there is 3 or more targets, just use Black Powder. It's really as simple as that. The rotation for AoE for rogues right now is actually extremely simple, and I think most of the problems that come from rogues having a lack of AoE DPS is not really understanding it. So I'm going to quickly talk to you guys about a couple core points, and then I will talk to you guys about the ideal AoE opener for a sub-rogue in a Mythic Plus poll. Okay, so let's quickly dive into how to actually do a ton of damage in AoE instead of just the general rotation, because I know that's what you guys want to do in your Mythic Plus. So there's actually a couple of passive abilities and active abilities that we can use to work together to do some pretty insane AoE combos, so let me explain that really quick. So if you look at our book here in Subtlety, we have a passive called Find Weakness. And the cool thing about this, if you just look at it yourself here, it's basically Cheap Shot and Shadow Strike essentially make our targets take more damage from us. So that's cool, but you're thinking, you know, that's not very effective in AoE, that's Cheap Shot and Shadow Strike. But then if we actually go up a page and we go to Shuriken Storm, we can actually read at the bottom there, critical strikes with Shuriken Storm apply Find Weakness for 6 seconds. So if we take the damage bonus we get from Find Weakness and we see that Shuriken Storm crits can apply that, we can think, wait a second, what about our ability, Symbols of Death? This ability literally makes our next combo point generator guaranteed crit. So what this means is if you're in a pack of 10 NPCs and you pop Symbols of Death into a Shuriken Storm, you are going to immediately apply Find Weakness to every single mob in the pack. Now, to look even farther at why this is going to do a ton of damage, if we look at our AoE finisher, which is called Black Powder, you can read at the bottom of that targets with your Find Weakness suffer an additional 50% damage as Shadow. So as you can see, as I've gone through all these different abilities, you might be able to start to understand why this is actually going to do so much damage. And what if I told you it gets even better? If you're playing Kyrian Rogue, you'll notice that Echoing Reprimand, one of the first little conduits we get in our tree with Pelagos, is that When we use it, we get a mastery buff for a couple seconds. I don't know if I could find that on me right here. Maybe if I go into here. Yeah, so as you can see up here, combat meditation, echoing reprimand increases your mastery by 350 for 7.5 seconds. So we can actually take this into effect as well. If we look at what mastery does for a sub-rogue, it literally increases the damage of our finishing moves. So this kind of brings us to this really crazy ideal AoE opener that's going to absolutely top your damage meters. Okay, so another thing I want to go over really quick is my spec. If you've seen my PvE DPS guide, it's pretty much the exact same spec, except I've decided to now start taking premeditation in Mythic Plus. The reason for this, I find I'm actually getting a lot of value out of the automatic slice and dice in between each little pack, and then also the free combo points. Not to say Weapon Master is a bad choice for single target, but just in terms of the pace of a Mythic Plus, I think Pre-Med's probably going to be stronger. And here at the bottom tier, this is something I really want to talk about. I've been getting a lot of comments because I bashed on Secret Technique in one of my videos. And to this day, I still believe Master of Shadows is the better pick. So main reasons for thinking Master of Shadows is the better pick is because we are running Enveloping Shadows, which means we have 2 Shadow Dance charges. That immediately gives us more value from this because we're using Shadow Dance more frequently. We're benefiting more from the energy that we gain when we use Master of Shadows. Also, having Master of Shadows not only gives us a huge single target buff that Secret Technique does not, but it also helps us on AoE pulls. If you're spamming Fan of Knives and Black Powder, there's no point to not pop Shadow Dance as well. You're going to gain free energy. I actually just realized I had one talent wrong. There we go. But the total damage you're going to get off of a Secret Technique is going to be 5k total damage. If we look at Black Powder with all of the other variables that we've already considered, each target getting hit is going to take 900 damage. So you add that bonus 50% damage on each target from the Find Weakness. There's hardly ever a time to use this ability in the first place. It's just not that great. Anyways, let's go ahead and break down a slow motion AoE pull and kind of show you guys how to optimize your AoE DPS under rogues. Alright guys, so for the optimal AoE opener, I've come up with a little combo for you guys. You guys always love these. So once again, showing the talents, and let's talk about how we're going to use them. So, first thing you're going to do is be starting in stealth. Why did that rabbit just catch on fire? I do not know. Anyways, it's going to start off with a Shadow Strike. This is going to teleport you into the pack of mobs and put you over here behind your target. This is also going to pop Premeditation for you, so you'll have Slice and Dice rolling. You'll be passively gaining combo attacks faster with your auto attacks, so that's great. As soon as you land back here on your target, you're going to go ahead and hit an Echoing Reprimand. You are to make sure you do not use symbols before this. You are going to use your Echoing Reprimand just for the mastery component that we talked about earlier. So at this point, you'll have about half your combo points. You can go ahead, pop your Symbols of Death. I actually have this macroed with a couple things, but the only thing that's important here is that I have Symbols of Death macroed in with Shadow Dance, or you can just hit both abilities. The reason why we want Shadow Dance up as well is to benefit from Master of Shadows, like we just talked about. So, once again, Shadow Strike to your target, hit Echoing Reprimand. You're going to pop Symbols of Death with Shadow Dance into a Shuriken Storm. This is going to apply your Find Weakness to all the targets around you, and then you're going to follow this up with a Black Powder, and this is going to hit really hard. And then after that, all we have to do is go back to that base rotation we talked about of what is my most prioritized combo point generator based off of how many mobs I'm fighting against, filling your combo points to full, and then prioritizing your finisher. In terms of AoE finishers, for 2 targets, probably just maintaining Slice and Dice and Eviscerates. I wouldn't rupture trash mobs. They're going to die way too fast to get value out of it. And for anything that's 3 or more, you're always going to use Black Powder. Let's go ahead and break that down in slow motion and show you guys what it looks like. Okay guys, so in slow motion, we are going to Shadow Strike to our target. We're going to pop Echoing Reprimand for a mastery bonus, pop Symbols with Dance into a Shuriken Storm, apply Find Weakness to everyone with that, and then we're going to Black Powder. After this, as long as it's 3 or more targets, we are just going to use Shuriken Storm to build combo points, and then with 5 or 6 combo points, we are going to use Black Powder. Every single time that Shadow Dance or Symbols is available, we want to use those, but make sure that you're using Symbols of Death with Shuriken Storm to guaranteed spread Find Weakness to all the targets. Alright, that's going to wrap up the video today, guys. I thought this would be a good time to introduce my brother. I'm actually half Yorkshire Terrier. His name's Tim. You can catch me and him sometimes on my live stream over at twitch.tv/iPalamore. I stream occasionally there, but it would be a lot more fun if we had more than 0 friends to hang out with. So I will see you guys in the next one.